Hello, this is Holly J.N.S, and today we are continuing with the Nakhti Queen Mothership series, and we are on part 12. And in this particular video, we are covering chapter 19, which is the Queen Mothership reading prerequisites and festivities. Now, we did not cover chapter 17 and chapter 18. We did skip around quite a bit. But for the most part, the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to get out to you was what I did. And so we just have one more video after this, part 13, which would be a very brief. It'll be a message to black men. We'll cover some things with black men and the divine feminine and their interaction with black women in 2023. Some things that they need to know because there's some untapped potential and energy being missed within the essence of black women and the divine feminine that only they can activate, but black men do not understand the level of power they have. They literally have access to a walking fusion power dimension and within their women, and so I find it quite incredulous to see the interactions and some of the things that, some of the ways in which black men and black women engage with one another. And, I'm not even being hyperbolic when I say fusion power and quantum energy. I mean that in every literal sense of the word. And so I want to talk with black men in the last video, and then we're going to get into more of the some esoteric teachings about the divine feminine. I do want to talk with black women extensively about a multitude of things regarding the divine feminine, regarding spiritual credit systems, regarding some energies that I need to, and some knowledge that I need to get out to her from the primordial mother, the primordial mothers, and so I need to have some serious talks with her. And men, you're encouraged to listen, to learn. But I'll be talking directly to black women for quite a bit, and then I'll get into more of the spiritual set songs that I'll be doing. And set song is just like a discourse, teachings will have you. And so, chapter 19, it just covers, reading prerequisites and festivities. And so festivities obviously include like specific holidays for Black Americans and certain rituals for Black Americans. In the Nakhti Queen Mothership Part 1 in 2020, I actually do have like rituals and holidays for Black Americans. In the Nakhti philosophy, I included holidays for Black Americans, and particularly an Ancestor Day. And the Nakhti Queen Mothership Part 2, it covered, specific things for Black American women, Black American men, certain things that they can do to enrich one another on certain days. And so in Part 1, we covered some of the things for the youth, for Black young boys that are in high school, as well as the Black woman. And the Nakhti Self Redox for Black women, that covers a bunch of rituals for Black women to do to cleanse their energy, their aura, to enhance the divine feminine within for healing and whatnot. And the Law of Gender book, it covers once again tactics and ways for Black women to enhance the divine feminine, and ways for the Black man to enhance the divine masculine. Activities that they can do as a couple, as a married couple, for workbooks. There was a workbook that I included in there, shadow work prompts in there that is included in the Law of Gender book. And the Tantra book, obviously that's more for spiritual sexuality, but that is obviously for couples to get that book and practice this. It's a little more, you gotta have I would say quite a bit more prerequisites to engage in Tantra. Not necessarily, but for that one you would need to read the book, and then you'll learn some things about semen retention and yoni massage, lingam massage and stuff. So none of this is new to me as far as coming up with these ideas for Black Americans. I've been doing this for the last 3 to 4 years in terms of the collation of the books. It started in 2016 as far as writing the blueprints for this material, like the Law of Gender book. That material was developed in 2016. Not all of it, but a lot of it. The Queen Mothership material that was collated in 2017. Again, not all of it, but it was a period of doing that research. So this is something that I've been doing for years. And so the Nakhti Queen Mothership Part 2 is the enterprise architecture of what a great matriarch will look like in 2023. I understand that I'm very much early on this information. Very, very much so. Our community is still in the trauma bonding phase. It's still, as a brilliant sister said, under the residue of the oppression and the trauma that we've went through, not realizing that the floodgates have been opened and that all of the curses, all of the spiritual credit swap overs and theft, all of the soul thefts, everything that has been done to the Black American and even the Africans, it's done. It's done. And so unfortunately we don't see that road opening. We don't see the floodgate of the ancestors awakening, the great spiritual awakening, the changing of the times, the changing of the vanguard, literally. And so some of us do, but as far as like collective consciousness within the Black American community, where there is people who are enlightened, and by that I just mean they just self-aware, know what the hell is going on, we do have that in our community, but there's another element of our community that is still under that residue of trauma bonding, and in their quest for justice, which is a noble quest, right? Justice for what has happened to our people. They've decided to take certain routes to get that justice, not realizing that through our Heka and through our resonance, through our collective consciousness, is how we will get that justice, is how you quantum leap and shift realities. And so once enough of us understand that, then we can really affect the change on the levels that should be already in place. And we already won, and we already will get there. It's a little slower in things playing out in real time, even in my own, manifestation. And so this is no judgment. I'm just saying, I would encourage the Black American to, once again, have that faith. And remember, having faith is useless if you don't have faith in yourself. Okay, and that's a quote from Reverend Knight. Having faith is useless if you don't have faith in yourself. And so I want to encourage the Black American to have faith in themselves and all of their potential and all of their gifts and all of their glory, and to ascend constantly seeking that knowledge, constantly seeking wisdom, constantly seeking growth, spiritual growth, understanding the processes of the mind. The biggest, and I want you guys to hear me, the biggest challenge that you will ever face is mastery of your mind, all capacities and all faculties, and steering that mind when you're up against a system that is 24/7 programming your ass. Okay, and so I really want you guys to understand that I have been on a journey. Okay, you guys know that. And not that many of you even care, but I would say, how do I say this? I remember there was a baby girl. Her name is Lucid Living. Her name was originally, obviously, Karen Guy. That is her name, but she goes by Lucid Living on her platform. And I remember her saying, it was one video where she was chuckling to herself, and she was like, for the last couple of months, I forgot how she said it, but she was like, for the last 6 months, for the last couple of months, she's like, you guys, she's like, I've been in a different realm. I've been literally in a different dimension. And she kept chuckling. And, I remember people in the comment section not understanding what the fuck she was talking about. And I remember intuitively knowing, oh yeah, she was out there, but she was teaching and she was giving out her knowledge, and you could tell she knows some shit, right? You can tell clear as day she knows some shit. But when she said that, I remember looking at the screen. I remember thinking, like, I intuitively understood, like, damn, what that feeling was. I was going in a different realm, another dimension. So I was here, but I was somewhere else. And she kept chuckling. And I have to say, since July 19th, that is how I felt. Since July 19th, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I felt like I've just been, and I've been here. I've been making videos. I've been doing, the daily necessities that a human would do, but it's like I've been gone. And not spiritually or mentally or nothing like that. I'm just saying in terms of understanding the universal consciousness, and by that I don't mean that I've because I have to explain, it's hard to explain, but yeah, that's how I feel. I am grounded. I'm not, because once your crown chakra activates, it can be a lot, and so that's what happened. And trying to put all of that together and having this, I've talked about the quantum entanglement. I did a video on resonance, and it was a little egoic, but because the only reason why it was egoic is because people was trying to scramble to take my shit and get credit for it, and because that's what happens with a lot of my stuff, and so I had to. The reason why I sounded so egoic in that video is because I was upset that people were trying to take a theory or something that they don't understand, something that was given to me from the gods, and then trying to, give a botched version of it. So that's why I came off like that in that video. But I was talking about quantum entanglement and resonance, and so that is essentially, what I had been going through, and so quantum entanglement is something that is a very real phenomenon, something that is very, very much common to the melanated race throughout all cultures. The Black American culture, you got Haitian, Caribbean, and African culture. So the thing is with me. And I'm going to get to our prerequisites. Just give me some moment to flow. Give me some moment to get some of my spiritual shit out. I'm not initiated into any earthbound orders. And by earthbound, I mean anything that's on planet Earth, as far as any orders, societies, organizations. I'm not into none of that. And so when I talk about, the Nakhti Queen Mothership, the Ancient Order of Kali, or when I talk about an order, any orders that I belong to, that would be etheric. That would be from a different dimension. That wouldn't be something on earthbound. And so we understand the idea of belonging to an order or belonging to a society very differently than what is on planet Earth. It is not something that is an oath. It is not something, just like when we talk about fallen angels, like 33% wanted to leave and have a planet of free will to do their own thing for experimentation and to spread their knowledge. And I'm going to keep it a buck. That wasn't a big deal to, I know a lot of you guys, we have skewed understanding of what happened based on stolen information. Okay, and so to many of the other angels, it wasn't as big of a deal to us. It was like, okay, well, we're going to honor our order. Our order is we devoted to the divine feminine, to the primordial Godhead, creator God. And there's some misunderstandings on what that even means on planet Earth as well. But from our realm, that meant, our primordial mother, the Godhead, the Holy Spirit. And so we were like, well, we're going to stay true to what we do up here. If you guys want to go to a different dimension, bounce. And so there was a rift with the great, what we call, and I'm channeling right now, so bear with me, but what we would call that energy like a grandmother. What people would say is the Godhead. To us, that's like, okay, that's our, and they do have a title, and I am writing a book on that, and that is very esoteric information. So I will not be talking about that on this channel. I'll be talking about it on Nakhti Church of the Higher Self, because there's octaves of resonance, octaves of what we call a morning star energy that exist on the polarity of those that wanted to stick true to the divine feminine order with the primordial God, mother, and those who wanted to explore free will. But they still believe in the divine feminine. Is just more so that the information got a hold into the wrong hands from the offshoot of the initial goal for coming to planet Earth as the fallen angels and the watchers, and that shit got tooken and twisted. And so, you know, in 2023 there is attempts to try to correct a lot of these things. Not that I have to, or that, you know, but some of us are on a mission to really get humans caught up, to get the information out there in a way that is palatable, and to help with the indoctrination, as far as undoing that indoctrination, and to encourage humans to, if it works, continue to do it, you know, but to also to realize their potential, you know. So that's the goal. It's not to give you more indoctrination, feed you more shit, you know. It's just like, okay, here's the record, you don't gotta buy into it, you ain't gotta, we actually don't care from our dimension. We just want you to know, you know, here's some steps, and here's some tools, and maybe even revisiting some of the ancient work of you know, of old, of the ancestors, of things they've said, of things they've put out that have been buried. And so that's mainly what we would encourage, you know. But so our definition of orders and oaths and stuff is very much different. Like, you can, if you want to go do something different, it's like, okay, you could do that. It's not a matter of, oh, you have to keep this information secret or else we're gonna, you know, da 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 da. There's nothing like that exists from the dimension that I come from. And again, I'm channeling the Kali Ma energy, and we understand we have this Kali Ma Shakti energy of the divine feminine, and those who you guys may understand it's a Shekinah, you know, if you're from Abrahamic religions, you may understand it as potentially a primordial energy of the abyss. So hard to explain this stuff if you don't have a background in like religious studies or the scholar form of theology, not just theology in that sense, but like literally the scholarship form of that. And so or in a background in esoteric knowledge. So I apologize if this is not making sense, but you know, we have that energy of the Kali Ma, but I want to make it clear that there's an octave higher of than that, and that is who has kind of taken me like asunder, and given me this information of what we would call the Creator God, or some of you may call Allah, some of you may call it doesn't, that title, the title is kind of irrelevant. The energy is what's important, and the gnosis, and of that energy, and the love consciousness that transcends from that energy, obviously, as God. And so, you know, in some sense, it's been like, on my journey, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. It's just been spiritual. I'm a woman. I'm a priestess. I'm a minister. So I'm naturally always been into spirituality. Naturally very gifted in that area. So I've always had visitations and clairvoyance and things like that, and psychic phenomena, all that stuff, all of that shit's always been there. But it just took another level, you know, around July 19th. It just took a life of its own, and that happened through a visitation, literally, of Kali Ma. And from that visitation with her, it went up to a higher, the primordial, and I thought Kali Ma was the primordial, and she is. You know, if you want to look at it that way, she is. You know, she's one of the head honchos. She's one of the head honchos for sure. But we went to a higher octave, and it was just an experience that I would hope to be able to elucidate one day in its entirety. I would love to tell you. I would love to just sit and really talk to you, you know, and give you the details of that. And it was life-changing, because I was just listening to Brother Yosef on Black Magic. I want to say his channel was 36 Black Magic 363 or something like that. I might have his channel name wrong, but I just know he does a lot of esoteric conversations. Like he covers some pretty heavy topics. You know what I mean? And so Brother Yosef I did a video on there around 3 weeks ago, and I'm just now watching it. And he made a comment. He was like, if you ever get to talk to the primordial mother, and I'm trying not to get like, or that morning star energy, you would lose your mind, because the energy is so intellectual, so it contains so much knowledge and so much power, it can explode. You're not just going to have a conversation with us, with those entities or those beings or gods. And I remember thinking like, well, women, and there's avatars that appear as humans walking this earth. And for those who don't know what an avatar, because I know there's, Black Americans may not know what an avatar is. It's a very old concept. It's a Sanskrit concept, or a Hindu concept. And it just really mainly means God descends into a human flesh. There's different types of avatars. They have different types of power, different types of missions. And so, like for instance, obviously Jesus would have been considered an avatar by the definition of the from the Hindu pantheon. Same with obviously the Buddha, obviously the Prophet Muhammad. These would be considered various forms of avatars. And I'm in the book that I'm currently writing. I break that down. And so there's a lot of women who have channeled, who are here from that dimension. From the dimension of the primordial mothers, from the dimension of heaven, that are here on this rim, appearing with human flesh and blood, but they are avatars. And so they can, and not voluntarily, like, oh, let me go. But if they come in, they got something to tell your ass, and they got a mission for your ass, they gonna come and snatch you up, and they gonna talk to you. And that's pretty much, and it's not even a snatch up, because I was just cooking one day and minding my business and listening to my YouTube videos and my music and chilling, and I walk past room to go to the bathroom, and I see Kalima sitting on the motherfucking bed. Okay, what you doing here? And it was just like, honey, get ready, it's time. And I'm just looking like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, okay. And so, and then from there, it went to that primordial. People talk about, it went to that because I was under constant spiritual attack from an organization. Just constantly spiritual attack, like death rituals after death ritual, like stuff to make me lose my mind, stuff to do, all types of stuff. And so that's when she stepped in. That's when, okay, Kalima was there, but that's when that other energy was like really, and we as I was being attacked, and I could, a clairvoyance, I can hear the attacks that were coming in, and as they were, these, under the spiritual attack and under this black magic that they were doing, I won't even call it black magic, dark, I can't even call it dark magic, under this evil stuff that they were doing, to me, that primordial energy was just, I remember her just undoing just undoing everything, and making sure that my mind stayed stabilized, and because she was giving me this information and giving me very powerful information to get out and whatnot, and to tell, but it like Brother Yosef was saying, that shit can make you can really lose it, and so I was so grateful that the Godhead, was able to bring that stabilization, to bring it to ground me back into 3D. I mean, not 5D, 7D, whatever you want to say. Planet Earth, pretty much the Earth dimension, because it was a lot. It was a lot, and boy, was it a lot. And but that level of love and that level of genius, fucking genius, like, I was something that I would never be able to express in words. To be in the presence of God like that, and for those at the levels, and you dissect the Bible, and I'll be in this book that I'm writing, I'll be breaking down some of them verses in the Bible that allude to, like with Isaiah and with David, talking about the same shit that I'm talking about being in the presence of the primordial mother. And there are Psalms that allude to it. Jesus alludes to it. So Who else? Solomon. I mean, it's right in front of us. And so it's unfortunate, people say, oh, they have this idea of this misinterpretation, or maybe I don't even think it's a misinterpretation. I think it's very much blatant misinformation that has been put out about many religions, the essence of these religions, the essence of the wisdom, and it's unfortunate. And again, there's when they say, in the Bible, it admits there are more than one God, but you are forbidden to worship other gods, whatever. This is what these Bibles, this is what, the redacted versions state, obviously. But there is more than one archetype of the same creator God, or avatars, offshoots, and the ability of the species to attain godhood through their merits and through their ascensions. And so you have that, and that may be a hard concept to understand. But I just say that to say, bear with me in this journey as I'm learning and growing in wisdom and confidence. And confidence obviously embodies the awareness and self-awareness of ego management, right? And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on understanding my power. And for those who know, they know. And that shit took me, for a loop. The things that I was able to do when I was under attack like that, and when I was facing literal assassination attempts and shit, and how to fight that off. And it had to have God help me fight that off. And by that, we're talking about the primordial energy, air, spirit, and primordial dark waters. And in the Bible, it talks about when David, I want to say it's Psalms 18, when David talks about God took me up under his wings, and we were in the dark water. We went to heaven, and it was the darkness. And people are looking like, how did God take you up? And then they talk about the nostrils of the. Come on, it's like right there. It's right in front of you guys' faces. But we're talking about the primordial mother, an energy of, I don't even feel, I don't want to scare nobody, because they accuse me of being blasphemous, you know what I mean? Of being blasphemous, but it's right there. It's right there. And it's there on multiple occasions, and it's not just this religion. You got the Abrahamic religion, but it talks about it in the Upanishads, it talks about it in the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about it in the ATRs, the African traditional religions. All these religions pretty much say the same thing. You want to go to the Mayan civilizations, you want to go to the American Indian tales and the American Indian knowledge. All saying the same thing when they're talking about that Godhead and that primordial energy. And I find that very fascinating, by the way. And so that's what I've been dealing with. And again, I'm incredibly grateful. The things that I've been going through, man, and if I was to even say, y'all wouldn't believe me. And I remember listening to my homegirl that I really credit for a lot of my ascension. She was saying, she was like, we can't even tell y'all this, the secret, or I can't tell y'all this because all y'all gonna say, oh, she's crazy, she lost it. And so that's how I feel with a lot of the shit that I know. So I try to put it in books and stuff. And when I say like the level of surveillance, like, hey, I've never dealt with that before. I get to that ATL, I'm back in the the ATL, and it don't even matter, because most of you occultists, most of you niggas that was in that's watching and that's trying to take me out, y'all already know, because y'all been watching like a hawk of where I go. Y'all already know I'm in the ATL. And when I got here though, I mean, and I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm that nigga, because I'm not. Well, I am, but I'm not, when we get to the ATL, and we got out the airport, and I'm looking around, and I'm thinking like, in my mind, when I'm in a moment, I don't think like, oh, let's pull out a phone and let's record or nothing like that. I just be trying to literally, get to my destination, or get to, what I'm trying to do. I'm saying this on a very small scale, very, very, very small scale, because I don't know what else of a comparison to give it, like to tell you without sounding like, okay, she done really went off the deep end. But, that level of surveillance, like them black trucks, like, yeah, I remember when Trump got arrested and his ass was going to the ATL jail, and you saw all them cars, and nothing like that was for me. That was like obviously some high level shit. What I was dealing with was minuscule, with maybe like 5 cars, 6, something like that. Not like all that stuff that Trump had. Like, that was different, but it felt like that. I was like black trucks, and even though I'm getting into Uber, but I'm literally seeing like black truck, like, and they was communicating with each other, like, and I'm looking like, damn, like, this is serious. What the fuck did I tap into? What did I do? And I'm sitting here, I mean, I'm not totally clueless, but I still don't understand, obviously, as Jenny Nunn Stanley, who has been under, obviously, a slumber in terms of knowing the way the universe works. I've always been intelligent. I've always been extremely intelligent, extremely spiritual. But, like, the levels, obviously, certain levels were concealed. Levels I weren't aware of. And so I don't know what I did around. I try to tell people shit, obviously in quantum entanglement on Twitter, but then it's like, okay, this person just lost it. And so, obviously, you delete that and you just kind of like, these niggas is fucking sleep. Who gives a damn? And then there's a lot of people that know, oh shit. Like, people like, oh shit, I woke up. And they know. And they get real scared and they try to come up with a plan. Okay, how do we shut her up? Do we just kill her ass? How do we get her out of here? How do we shut her up? Okay, what do we do? So it'd be a panic, because I'd be up there and I'd be telling this shit from like a dimension of another realm. Like, we talking way past, obviously you talk about, oh, you can only get to the 8th dimension, or the 16th dimension, or the 20th dimension. And I'm like, I was talking from a realm that was way above that dimension. So when I was on Twitter, it just like, this person is just rambling about some shit, but those in the know. And now that I'm because I clearly remember what I wrote, I'm kind of like, damn, that's some shit. And then I'm coming to find out that it's already wizards, sorcerers, prophets, evangelists, avatars, ascended masters on this planet right now in 2023 that already know about prophecy, already know the shit that I was talking about. They already know, because they in their societies, and they already know about the shit. I'm the one that's on the out. I'm the one that don't know what the hell going on, because I'm just college J.N.S, just writing books and doing school and trying to get my business off the ground. That's pretty much, so as a spiritualist, but not on the level of, I'm only 31 years old, and so I don't know what I tapped into. I obviously know I tapped into God. I know that. I know I tapped into esoteric information that is concealed from most humans. And I know that I've been revealed things and I know that I have been revealed very secret information from the primordial mother herself, and from the morning star energy. And we call Jesus the morning star, but we also call the light bearer the morning star, and these are energies of the polarities of difference and resonance and electromagnetism. One decided to stay with the order, one decided free will. That's all it is. For those who can decipher that, they will decipher that. People still want you to pick a side, whatever. I picked the side of the order. I'll just say that. I'll pick the side of staying with the heavenly dimension of the primordial mother, the God, creator God. And so that is my side. And so, wow, there are some of us that are avatars or angels, archangels, that also are on that fight, pick a side, that type of energy. there are some of us that's like, dude, we understand what both of you guys are saying. We do not stand for the corruption. We do not stand for the lies. We do not stand for what's happening to humanity. But at the same time, we get why our brothers and sisters once left this dimension, and you know, or we just don't care. You know, it's not like we feel like we need to fight them, and so, but then some of them feel like they need to fight us, and then some of us that stayed with the order, they feel like they need to fight as well. And so, you know, those like me, we are being told like, no, you gotta pick. You know, and so that happens, and you know, some of us, the biggest thing is we want to stay free, and we encourage every human to stay fucking free. Stay free, honey. Stay free and keep your soul. And so that is the main thing. You know, is gonna gear up. Humanity is gonna gear up, and you gotta fight like hell. Like, you cannot. When I say fight, like, you gotta fight like hell, dude, to stay free these days. You know, you can't really get into the distractions and letting people program you. Now you have to consciously program yourself these days. And so, and that's really what you need to take from this. I got into the spiritual talk from different dimensions and from the realm of, you know, and for those that's heavily into the esoteric knowledge, even, and by that you could be any religion. You know, you really can, and understand what I said in terms of, if you're from Islam, if you're from Christian, if you're from Judaism or Christianity, if you're from the Hindu, the Buddhist. For those who understand what happened with different, with the Watchers, with the East will call avatars, with the fallen angels. If you're in Abrahamic religion, if you're into the ETs, you would understand that as Pleiadians, Enochians, different species. What else? The Lemurians. The Lemurians are kind of created from a different dimension, but you would understand that from a different level if you're into the galactic sense, you know, because it interconnects, believe it or not, but we're just not there yet to get all that information out. About, you know, we're just not there to connect the galactic information about God's creation of various species. People just think it's, you guys know it's just not humans in the universe. I'm pretty sure you guys just know that. And so we have to reconcile that with, you know, what organized religion has done to humanity, and then, you know, these people, and so how do you get that out? And so there are people that try, you know, Brother Yosef, I mean, he does a good job, Rod Hayes, you know, but these are men. And so what happens when, you know, with women, and those who know, they know. With the women, when women activate, when women go up there, and the primordial mother taps them and say, look, you're my prophet, and this is what you're going to go and say. And so there's no shade to men, but we all know that women are walking portals with their womb, their ability to bring life into this world, to birth that a whole soul into this dimension. Not only that, their connection with the monthly cycle connections. Believe it or not, it's not just connected to the moon. It's connected to the water, and it's connected to dark energy, dark matter. For those who don't know, it carries a frequency. It's connected to melanin, and then if you're melanated, we know that melanin is an intelligence, is a superconductor. As Dr. Blair says, your cosmic passport, and cosmic passport in every sense of the word. So while I'm not knocking what the brothers out here are saying at all, I do encourage Black Americans to and the Africans, like, come on, you guys know, like, your own ancient text talks about, you know, the divine feminine connection to the primordial mother, the primordial God. And so I'm just merely encouraging you, if there's, to listen to the women as well that are out there, currently out there, giving you this information, talking to you. Encourage those women, because they do know what they're talking about. Some of these women are extremely intuitive, and they have chaos intelligence. And chaos intelligence is just emotion and hard energy that's powerful energy. And so chaos intelligence is not necessarily like linear intelligence. It's not even cyclical, believe it or not. You have cyclical intelligence, which is what the East, the Hindu and the Buddhists emphasize. So it's different in cyclical intelligence, and so a lot of Black people have a lot of chaos intelligence, particularly Black women. Women in general tend to have more chaos intelligence. You can be of any color and have, as a woman, and have a lot of chaos intelligence within your DNA. And so, you know, a lot of you guys may say, okay, you hear someone channeling, or when you hear, and I want to make it very clear, I'm not a medium. I don't talk to just random dead spirits. I talk to gods. And so I'm different in that sense. I don't want anybody to refer, oh, she's medium, she's channeling, she's doing quantum entanglement. Like, no, and if I don't have nothing to say, I won't say it, but I'll put my shit in the book. But and most of the time, you know, I give them the manuscripts out for, you know, to people, you know, not in that sense, but you know, some of the books that I have are free, or you'll find half of most of the material online or through a video or something. So, you know, if it's pertinent information for humanity, you guys know I'm not gonna try to keep that from you, you know. And so when you hear these women who you think, okay, they lost it, or they may sound crazy, you know, you be careful with that, you know. When you calling a Shara goddess crazy and lucid living crazy, or priestess Osset crazy, those women, hell, they not crazy at all. Very, very, very intelligent women, very, very gifted women. It's just that their level of intuition, the chaos intelligence, the spiral, like you think of the way of a galaxy, how a galaxy is shaped versus linear thinking, is very different. It's a very different level of intelligence, because it's relying on an intuitive subconscious aspect. It's relying on quantum entanglement to get knowledge out. And so that's all it is. And so that's why you know a lot of us, we love listening to AKT Celebrity Reads, and we all know who that is. And when she do them readings, you know, when she get them readings on, and people in the industry, we be all ears and perked up, and we be cracking up in the comment section, because not laughing at her, but because we be like, damn, it be so accurate. And for a lot of us, that's what I mean by chaos intelligence, connecting to the dark energy of a primordial realm of the subconscious realm that's connected to the divine feminine. And so that intelligence looks very different from, say, someone just reading books. And so I want to encourage Black Americans to honor that, and the Africans to honor that, because they have access to high levels of that no other group does. And obviously that includes the Caribbeans as well, anybody that's melanated, and the dark Indians. And so I want to encourage you to honor that amongst your community. You know, when you hear intuition, you know. And so that's what I have to say. I know that was very tangential, and in many ways very, very tangential, but I needed you guys to understand, like, where my mind is at. Like, I'm glad the Queen Mothership series will be completed, because in addition to the Queen Mothership order, the Queen Mothership books, that I'm coming up with a Queen Mothership part 3, you know. I want to talk about some other things for you guys. I want to talk about I want to talk to Black women. I want to talk about the divine feminine. I want to talk about a lot of esoteric quantum entanglement that I have been getting, a lot of downloads that I've been getting. I'm going to talk about all those things, you know. I also want to talk about the Tut language. There's a course that I'm doing on that, and so I'll be promoting that soon, starting that up, and I think you guys will love that. And so my mind is on that, and we will be still continuing with the Queen Mothership. I'm writing that today I die. That's Queen Mothership is just gonna be, that's just it, you know. But the Nakhti Queen Mothership, we're gonna be focusing more of the Nakhti Queen Mothership High Society, which is a part of the Nakhti Church of the Higher Self. It's a order, but it's not like something like you gotta pledge allegiance to or take an oath for. It's just humans who are in quest for enlightenment and in quest of knowledge and ethics and cosmic universal knowledge. It's very deep stuff that we'll be talking about within the Nakhti Queen Mothership order. And so I'll be pivoting somewhat, to that. And so let's start chapter 19, the Queen Mothership reading prerequisites. So let's start chapter 19, the Queen Mothership reading prerequisites and festivities. Okay, and again, these are just suggestions. So there are several prerequisites that Black Americans are encouraged to just take a look at for better understanding of the Queen Mothership's history and its values, as well as its tenets, the self-development modalities, its philosophy. Okay, and so everybody's encouraged to read the Nakhti Queen Mothership book part 1, or take the Nakhti Queen Mothership course. The Nakhti Queen Mothership course on Nakhti University. Either that, or you get the Nakhti Queen Mothership book, or you just watch the damn videos about the Nakhti Queen Mothership on the YouTube channel, right? So that is the first book that I wrote, and it was at the time when I was a Pan-African scholar. I was interested in Black women and Black men's gender dynamics, and so I'm no longer Pan-African. I wrote the Entrusted Melanism Framework as a guide for melanated people to first develop and work on themselves as far as their liberation, and then form those networks when they are ready and when they want to. That's called Entrusted Melanism. It's a book out there. It's very detailed. It's controversial enough to have seven general state attorneys ask about me as far as like, why the fuck am I not dead yet? And so yeah, you want that Entrusted Melanism book. Okay, if you're a melanin, if you really, unless you just one of them brainwashed sellout niggas, then it ain't for you. But it's some real shit in there. There's some real shit in there for Africans and Black Americans. So that's what I'm on. I'm not a Pan-African. But the research about that Queen Mothership and their tribes, it still presents a picture of melanated history before colonialism, okay? And it also lists 20 reasons why the Nakhti Queen Mothership should exist. And it's a philosophy that should be dynamic, based on discipline, precision, truth, logic, and spirit. Okay, and so the tenets of the Nakhti Queen Mothership are also included in that book. The next one is the Nakhti philosophy. Now, this is my second book that teaches you how to reprogram your subconscious mind. This is also the book that got me on a fucking watch list. The Nakhti philosophy breaks down components of the chambers of the mind. It gets into gnosis. It's really heavy. It's heavy shit, and instead of people who wanted to know what the hell I was talking about, instead of them asking me, their plan was to take the book and just and to off me and just take the shit and try to figure out what it meant instead of just simply asking. And so the Nakhti philosophy is out. You can actually get that for free. I'll be doing a series on that, but it is my second book. And you have to read the concepts to understand it. But it teaches you how to program your mind and your heart with the content that you desire based on what you wish to manifest or transmute from, as far as your transmutation process of moving from a lower state to a higher state of consciousness. It teaches you about the impermanence and duality of life, and learning how to, how do you practice equanimity, which is mental calmness. And so it dives into the chambers of the mind. It elucidates pretty much the chambers of the mind, and if you guys have some background and knowledge of the Abrahamic, obviously the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Buddhism, and even the information that Jesus was talking about, like if you're Christian, when he talks about the 12 disciples and how those are actually faculties of consciousness, states of consciousness, for those who are in the know. The Nakhti philosophy just simply was obviously divined to me, because and I think like those who know that, because I've been watched for a very long time, and so the conditions under which the Nakhti philosophy was produced is so that's when they knew, like, okay, this is not just some regular human. This is not just a regular. This is some other shit. And I haven't gotten phone calls with motherfuckers telling me, oh, you ain't human. And I don't know, on multiple occasions, you are an entity. You have to be some type of, like, oh my gosh, like, because the knowledge that's in that Nakhti philosophy came obviously from me, but it was divined. And I know the entities that gave me that information. I remember writing it. I absolutely remember writing it. I remember developing it, coming together with these ideas. I clearly remember that. But I also remember, God say, put that in there. Include this. Get that out. And so the Nakhti philosophy is so much ahead of its time, and it's being actively shadow banned and buried beyond levels that I never thought could exist. And so it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate because that is something for humans. And so what's happening is that there are societies that just really want to bury. They don't want that stuff in your hands. They don't want you messing around with it, pretty much. And so if you're smart, you would at least go and download the free copy. And when you get time, or when you maybe you'll never get time, but at least you'll have a copy of that information. I know it's like, well, damn, who the fuck are you? Yeah, that's so egoic. I'm not. I promise you. I'm telling you to jump ahead of something before the shit's just completely buried. And so that's what it is. Because I'm telling you that my stuff was going to be. Man, if you guys just knew. So I released a Nakhti philosophy for free for humanity. And so I just ask that you go and download it, and if you have time, maybe it'll be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you sit and maybe you can carve that out. I'll elucidate. I'll be doing some video courses on it. And again, it's just more updated for 2023. It's not something, I'm not saying like, oh, I done come up with something new. Some of it is new, but a lot of it is built on, obviously, ancient wisdom. Obviously, wisdom that everybody has been saying, that all four corners of the earth has been saying, that all dimensions have been saying for aeons, for the last thousands and thousands of years, trying to get humanity to understand that. But unfortunately, humanity has been under attack. It's been under attack, and you guys notice you've been under attack, and you've been brainwashed and programmed, distracted and programmed, bamboozled, lied, hoodwink, as Malcolm X would say. And so, you got some of us that's trying to awaken, and awaken ourselves, obviously, first. But we're putting out information, and some of that's just very natural to us. We wouldn't know any other way. And this is just what feels natural, and this is just what comes automatic, is to get information out and to develop information and frameworks and processes. Again, some of us are we are entities, and we are avatars, we are angels, we are people that, and you got quote unquote, your auspicious ones, and you got your quote unquote your inauspicious one, good and bad, on both sides. You got a group that wants to maintain the control over your ass and use you as a fucking energy battery and drain you and take your souls, and then you have the rest of us that's like, look, we really want them reaching their highest potential. Like, why not? Like, what's the big threat about it? Like, those who have power, and their power through titles and through what's been given to them by God. We don't feel threatened by humans having more knowledge. We just don't feel threatened by that. It's bearing on us. Because our consciousness is so ascended, and we know where we go after this. We know who we belong to, and we know who gave us our power. And so we are just people that's just like, well, shit, here's what I know, and if you guys want to ask some questions, or if you guys want to take it and run with it and do something with it for yourself, you're more than welcome to. And so that's what the Nakhti philosophy is. It is something that I encourage. It's just a suggestion, and I'll be doing a video series on that, so you guys can look forward to that. Also, the 22 precepts from the Nakhti philosophy, those are just staccato teachings. Another prerequisite reading that will help you understand, for those that's really ready, really ready, your consciousness is there, You understand chaos intelligence, you understand the divine feminine, you understand some esoteric information from, within these texts, within beyond, what they call the hidden information. You want to check out the Nakhti Queen Mothership Part 3, the language of the gods. We go deep in here. That's just straight quantum entanglement with the primordial mothers and Kali Ma and Tahuti. And to a lesser degree, the octaves of the morning star of Jesus and light bearer. And so, we go deep. And so, there's some teachings in there, very powerful teachings. We talk about the Advaita Vedanta, we talk about the duality, we talk about transcendence, we talk about the Nakhti philosophy again, we talked about resonance, electromagnetism, we talk about some, we go deep, we talk about quantum entanglement, we talk about esoteric meanings in certain Bible verses, we talk about, it's mad shit in that one. We talk about the ancient order of Kali, the ancient order of Tahuti, of different dimensions. We talk about Atlantis. Actually, we don't talk about Atlantis in the language of the gods. That one's a different book. The other book is the Nakhti Queen Mothership Alternative to Freemasonry. Freemasonry is not a earthbound invention. It was created in a different dimension that is at least 125 levels above Earth. And so it was given to the Atlanteans, and the Atlanteans gave it to this dimension. And so an Atlantean could be an Enochian for those who are hung up on the galactic shit. Or the Atlanteans are a different species. No, Atlantean could be a mixture of a species, but an Atlantean has an energy itself. And it's a species unto itself, but it can be a mixture of multiple species, and you could still be considered of the Atlantean dimension. And so that information was given to planet Earth, and there was a group of people that just took that, a group of entities that just took that and just watched the fuck out of it, to be quite frank. And so, Kali, we're just, it's Kali, J.N.S. is Kali archetype. We're just trying to just get some of it, to sublimate some of the content. And so you want to get that too for anybody that's interested. And people may say, well, you're attacking the Freemasons. No, the motherfuckers came after me, and I'll have to say this, like, that shit been in my bloodline for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I'm related to the ancestor that gave me, like, a lot of the people that's wondering, like, how did you get all this information? How did you crack all this stuff? The person that founded that shit, that's the earthbound version, who started that shit, and he was not the one that corrupted it, but the one that came to me, Thursday. Claire, he was the one that came to me and gave me the fucking information. Multiple ancestors, and some of my ancestors are entities, like Hathor. And so they came and gave me the fucking information, and no one can go and attack them because they are gods, or ascended masters, like Saint Bernard has ascended considerably since being in human form. And so, those who are wondering, like, oh, you're attacking no, I'm not. I was born into a situation that I'm trying to I'm awakening, and so this shit came at my door. If it was up to me, I'd still be, all I'd like to do is write books, mind my business, and talk my shit. Like, I'm a very simple ass person. I'm not attached to nothing. I'm not attached to people, places, or things. I'm not even attached to processes. I like nice shit, and I like my things. I like my herbs. I like, and by that, like my hoodoo shit. I like perfumes and stuff like that. But I'm a very simple person. I can live off very little. So I'm not attached to nothing. You know what I mean? And so I'm a very simple person, and that's how I like to live my life. And these things came to my front door, and so it's like, oh shit, what the fuck did I tap into? What did I do? I'm just merely writing. I didn't know the stuff I was putting in them books was that stuff was channeled from gods, but it's like, who are you? And why are you putting out all of our shit and you're not initiated into none of this shit? Nobody shit. And you out here just writing my little books. What did you say, Tahuti? Okay, I'll put it in there. What did you say, Kalima? Okay, I'll put it in there. What did you say, Primordial Mother? What did you say, Tiamat? What did you say, Jesus? And I'm sitting here channeling, and I'm, as a spiritualist. I'm just a spiritual black woman. I'm just a gifted avatar. Like I'm gifted, and so I didn't mean to step on anybody's motherfucking toes. I really didn't. I'm just like, oh shit, what did I do? And so I have to deal with that now, right? And then motherfuckers literally trying to kill me. And so that's life. So I want you guys to check that out. Check out my content. Support me. Get the books on Tut language. Support. I got a litany. I got 16 books. You find something for your ass. Something that's gonna help you. So I just named those ones. The gratitude journal with the Tut language. I think you guys will love that as Black Americans. You know, things. The Black American reservoir. That one. Black American Reservoir, if you guys can get that one as well. Very deep into psychology, the collective unconscious of the mind, of the magic that we've created as Black Americans. Again, if you're serious about enlightenment, if you're serious, and I know that there are behemoths of organizations that have blackballed and have literally told, there are people that just wish they could support me and wish they could put me on their channel, wish they could promote, and they have been told no. Like, this is really serious shit here. And so I know that there are people, and I have had phone calls where people say, you know, people scared to put you in, you know, and for whatever reason, you know, it is what it is. And I won't put that energy out there because it could, because that could be self-fulfilling prophecy. But for me to be 3 years in the game with this amount of material that's out, that's pretty much it's on levels that haven't been seen in 2,000 years, and for that level of shadow ban, that lets me know there's something serious going on. The level of surveillance, the level of shit that I've had to deal with, the assassination attempts. Like, nah, this shit is serious. Like, what the fuck did I do? You know, and so I know I'm protected, you know, but at the same time you sit and you wonder, like, what the fuck did I tap into? You know, and so I know that there are plenty of you that's probably being told, don't help her, don't support her, she gotta. And then I walked away from I'm not doing no entertainment shit, I'm not doing no Hollywood shit, I'm not doing that, you know. That's the, you know, I'll stay free. And so that also comes with its own consequences, and you guys know, if you know, you know. And so if you really are curious, you know, and some of you know exactly what's been going on, a lot of you know, you guys have been praying for me, you guys have been making moves for me in the spiritual realm. Many of you Black men, some of them they said, oh, first they was ready, they didn't know how serious the shit was, and I think they realized, like, oh shit, this is some whole other shit. We gotta help this girl. And so I've seen some of you in the spiritual realm trying to help. I've seen even corporate. I've seen some shit, man. I've seen it, and then I could feel. So I could feel that this is some off the wall shit, man. And then some, they're like, let's just kill the bitch. And so it's some wild stuff, man. And so I asked for that positive energy, and that love energy, rather. I'll ask for that love energy to be sent towards me, because love is very powerful, very, 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 very powerful. And so I asked for that love energy to be sent towards me. If you cannot do nothing else, I know a lot of us strapped for cash. You know, a lot of us are, you know, everybody working and they got their own bills, they got kids and shit. So if you can't get a book, I do ask that you send that love energy towards me, because it's a lot. You know, who would have thought just somebody that just wants to write and teach Black Americans in the world? You know, a lot of my content is for humanity, but you know, I've done a lot of cultural collation, a lot of cultural work for Black Americans. You know, I've been in the reparation space, been in the Black women space. So who would have thought that would take that would be such a threat, you know, and in terms of some of the work that I've been producing in that. And so their methods, because the assassinations are not working, is more so like, okay, blackball, ignore, shadow ban. And so, but God has told me some things about that as well. So, look, when you've been through what I've been through, and when you've been blessed, and you know, guys, many of you guys are blessed and highly favored, right, as well. But when you see some of the things, it's like nothing on this third dimension, nothing on the third, fourth, fifth, whatever you guys want to say, sixth, seventh, whatever. Nothing on this planet, nothing. It can tap or can amount or compare to what I've experienced with the Godhead, and in a different dimension, away from this planet. So I don't. It's kind of difficult for people to wrap their mind around, because they're like, well, we have to do these things in order to survive. I'm gonna be real with you. You sit my ass under a tree somewhere and let me fucking meditate. Those who know. You sit me under a tree, let me motherfucking meditate, and I'm good for the rest of my life. It's like, what? And just leave me the fuck alone. And I can't even do that, you know. I try to, you know, you leave me alone and under a tree, and I got some water in a place where I use the bathroom. Maybe a couple, maybe a vegetable, a fruit, maybe not even that. If I had some water and somewhere to release my excrement in a tree, in nature, and I could just sit and meditate, you could put $1 trillion in front of my ass and say, that tree, or this Maya, if I'm talking in code now, this Maya $1 trillion. Which one you want to pick? And you gonna see my ass pick that damn tree. Okay? I'm talking in code. You know, I was told, if you have a choice between the world, no, this is how you say, if you have a choice between the world and the Word of God, choose the Word of God. And I'm thinking, like, oh, you trying to push that Bible stuff on me? And I understand it was a dimensionality. It was a state of consciousness to choose the God within. All right, the kingdom of God within, the blue flame. And so, you know, that's where I'm at with it. As simple as that. Very deep, I know, but that's what I asked for. To send that love energy. You know, as far as festivities, we have the Kingship Bath that is detailed in the Nakhti Queen Mothership Part 1. That is for the young black boy. It's very important. You know, boys are... I'll have to talk about that later. I don't want to get into a tangent. We have Ancestors Day. That is celebrated on January 22nd. The details is in the Nakhti Philosophy book. Ancestors Day. We have a Black Marriage Day. That's August 25th. That's the Black married couples. They celebrate their marriage by catering to each other and making love. And the Nakhti Queen Mothership, we are going to have a Black American Man Day. And then we're going to have the Black American Woman Day. We're going to do it on the weekend and in the summer. And I don't have the exact days yet, because this is more for the intentional community component of it. But for the Black American Man Day, Black American Woman Day, obviously these are, you know, if you're married or a couple, that it's going to be much easier to celebrate it. But even if not, you are going to be encouraged to find a buddy, you know, the buddy system that day. And we'll have activities, fun activities. You don't have to participate in all of them, because we do have massage, and you don't have to participate if you don't feel comfortable with somebody touching you. You know what I mean? If I presume that couples would engage in such activities, but obviously we're doing a lot of cooking for one another. It's a cater day, and so the Black American Man Day gets his day first, so that the Black women can relax on her day. You know what I mean? So, and so they go first, so we could just get it out the way, and then we'll have, when it's our day, we can really like be in relaxation mode. You know what I mean? Like really relaxation mode. But presumably what it would be is with the black man's day, the black women just catering to the black. And I know y'all are, some of y'all are just like, still, I don't want to do that for the black man. Whatever, I don't care. This is for certain people. This is for Black Americans. Shit. And so but they'll be doing things for black men on that day. Probably be cooking, massages, music, love, poems for his day. And then the next day they're gonna do the same thing for the black woman. Okay, massages, catering, cooking. It's the same thing. So don't think sisters ain't gonna get nothing. Like, what do we gotta do this for? And they can't do nothing. They're gonna be doing the exact same thing. The only reason why they go first is because my mind is like, you want to do the work, get it out the way. Just get it out the way so that you can have your day. and if there's no consensus on that, then we can switch it around. It's no big damn deal. But I do think that Black Americans need to get into the habit of ritual with those things, with the divine feminine, divine masculine. So, and that's what that holiday is for. Like, okay, we celebrating the divine masculine, the Shiva energy, and then we're going to get into the divine feminine. And we can have activities, game boards, games, different activities in addition to, if you guys read Kama Sutra, and I'm not talking about the sexuality aspect of it, there's 64 activities that have nothing to do with sex, by the way. 64 like cultural activities to foster love amongst the divine feminine, divine masculine. We'll just be doing those activities. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that's like so foreign. It's like they're very painting, writing poems. And so I think that'd be something really cool for us to get into as Black Americans. Again, I don't think I know I'm early with this stuff, so I know it's going to take some time for it to click. It could possibly take decades. I could possibly be like dead and gone by that time. People say, "What the fuck? What was we thinking? Why didn't we listen to this girl?" And then you guys were like, "Oh damn, she was shadow banned like a motherfucker." And one day you guys went out, perhaps you get a how they do a release of information from these intelligence agencies on people after they're long gone, like MLK and Martin. I would be very fucking curious to see mine. I really want to, and I think my shit's been, how they talk about how Tupac been on that list since he was 8 years old. I'm like, I really, really would like to see the file on my ass, okay? And so one day, I hope one of you guys request that shit. And then you guys will see, okay, that girl wasn't Christ. She wasn't, when she was trying to tell us, this stuff was going on and this happened, and when she was trying to tell our asses, and so one day it'll all be, I know I'll be vindicated. So that's what I have for you. Stay free. Stay with love consciousness. Stay in love consciousness, evolving with knowledge and wisdom. Stay having faith. Believe in the God within. Believe in, don't externalize your power, but understand that there are mighty, mighty forces within and mighty, mighty forces above. I won't even say above, but in circulation, it would probably be the better word. And so that's what I have for you. That's pretty much what I wanted to share. Next video is the message to the black man. It's literally, that's the title of chapter 20, message to black men. And so I'll read it, and I'll have a talk with them about them understanding the divine feminine, because they're hard-headed, and so they're gonna run up a wall in their intransigence to ignore that. They're doing a great disservice to themselves, so by ignoring the energy of the divine feminine. Not all of them, of course. And so that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.